My name is Alexander Gomba from Mzuzu an entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology hub based in Malawi. I'm so excited today to welcome you to our podcast, Unscripted, Emerge and Thrive. In this podcast, we aim to have conversations that resonate and engage with the youth, with topics ranging from art, health, entrepreneurship, finance, innovation, and so much more. We want to go into the fine and nuanced details of these subjects so that young people like you and me can learn a thing or two and be productive in our daily lives. Before we continue, I want to give a big shout out to the sponsors of this podcast, WOSC, a Canadian non-profit organization that operates globally. Their Global Affairs Canada-funded project, Ignite, supports organizations that work daily to improve the socio-economic well-being of young men and women. Mzuzu is one of these organizations that has partnered with WOSC on this Ignite project. And that's why this podcast is made possible. Thank you, WOSC, for sponsoring this podcast. And without further ado, let's dive into the first episode. Enjoy. First of all, can you tell us what you do, your career?
Well, as you have explained in the introduction, I am Salome Kadazi. I'm a young leader. In my leadership, I do advocacy and activism. So in short, I work with and for young people, mainly the targeted youth that I work with. Those that belong to a youth club or a youth group or a youth organizations, those that are in an established sector. Currently, I am standing in as the chairperson for Mzuzu Youth Network, and I am mostly found at Mzuzu Youth Office, the Duayo's office, which is under Ministry of Youth. I think in short I can say that there's a lot. So.
All right. What inspired you to join youth activism?
So I started in 2019, just soon after college. I had no plans of getting back to school or favoring my studies. And the moment I got here, I was like, what should I do? I can't be home all day and the like. And by that time, I used to watch NBC Times and the like, and I could hear stories about Mandida Teu, Charles Kajoloweka, Luth Javula, Peter Vumba, and the likes who are activists in the city. And I was very interested to know their stories, to know what they do. And I really did invest my time in finding out what these people do. So I started associating myself in those sectors. For starters, I started volunteering with Oppose Malawi, which is directed by Peter Mumba, who is an activist. And through that voluntary work that I did, I got motivated in the way how he does his work with peer educators. So I was a peer educator for some time. And then I thought, you know what, I can do this. I can do more than this. I can lead, because I got motivated from him and from other girls, from other boys that were there. So I had to do my own research. How can I do this? How can I work with young people in Mzuzu? And then I had to find out that there's youth office. So I just directly went to youth office, and then I had a chat with the district youth officer. But then he was Mr. Masse, Geoffrey Masse. And then he welcomed me very well, motivated me. He's like, you know what, youth work is very good. You can do this, you can do that as a young person yourself. You can do better, you can do great. So I was motivated in that kind of way. And then the next thing, I just gave him a letter to volunteer at his office. So he gave me the chance. And I started doing that in 2019, up to date.
What do you think are some of the most pressing challenges the youth are facing, Makamaka, Mzuzu, or the communities that you do your work?
We talk of education. You know, it's hard for some to attain good quality education. We can say because of some economic constraints from their families. I can talk of health. We have sexual transmitted infections. Most of young people have them. Talk of HIV. A lot of young people in Mzuzu, they are infected. We can go to the economic sector. Most of young people, they are not employed, or they don't have the skills that would help them to get something by the end of the day. Some do have those skills, but then they also like some type of marketing where people would get to know about their skills and, kupeza drama at the end of the day. We also have this behavior ya ulesi among young people, yeah?
Yeah.
So all of these are the most pressing issues that I see here in Mzuzu. Plus that, I can say we also have a problem with parenting from some parents. You can agree with me that you see a lot of kids just wandering about in Mzuzu, selling onions, selling lemons, ginger, and the like, and you would tend to wonder, why are they not at school? So there's a lot of issues for young people in Mzuzu.
In order for a youth, oshinyamato na kuti afuna mwina asinte moyo wake or just to contribute to development, what's the next step for him to take or her to take? You mentioned of youth clubs.
A young person has to have an interest in something. We need to be interested in the things that are surrounding us, in the developmental works, everything that the government, for example, is doing in our country, be it they're investing in young people or just general in people. We need to be interested. We need to know those things. We need to follow up. So if we are interested, we'll be empowered in a way that we'll understand what we're doing, And when you understand what you're doing, I think that is the first step that might help you. When it comes to youth clubs and the like, I believe in community serving or maybe volunteering. I feel like if we can have a group of young people or a group of people that would volunteer themselves into some work, it will change how we think as a people of Malawi. And you can agree with me, currently we have a high unemployed rate. And a lot of young people are just staying at home, being idle and the like. They are turning into drug addicts, alcoholics, because they don't have anything that is keeping them active or busy or something like that. So if they can get into volunteering, it will help them. How can they do that? They can do that by mobilizing one another in their community. We have different communities, Chiwavi, Chiputula, Masasa, Hilltop, Katoto. There's problems, a lot of problems. A problem that might be in Katoto might not be in Chiwavi, or a problem that might be in Chimalilo might not be in Chiputula. So young people in the community, they should mobilize themselves. They should identify the problems that are there. They can start working from there. We have a lot of problems. In communities, we have community structures that do champion the development of the communities, developmental projects of the communities. Young people can start asking questions from there to check how is it going, how do projects here go. We have a lot of examples of corruption when it comes to development here in our country or in our communities. Young people can take that role, to be like, what, let's find out. Afumo kunabwera drama za development makuti zimaenda bwanji, all over school ana zikuenda bwanji, So in so doing, you keep yourself busy, and then as a young person you get empowered. As a young person, you also get to find yourself, because most of us don't know who we are, or sometimes you could just be alone and be like, I know what, maybe I should start another career, or maybe I should do get different. So we have all the time as young people, we have all the energy that we can do better, that we can start something new.
How difficult is it for a government office or where you are at the youth to mobilize youth to form clubs? I understand this so they could join clubs, or maybe they have intentions of to drama, or or you not really drama, then they go.
In answering your question, I should say youth sector is one of the most challenging sectors that I've ever worked with. Why? Because young people, they tend to wander about, So they can move out of the place nthawi inayi yonse.
Yeah.
They can change what they want nthawi inayi yonse, because most of us do have that time, because most of us do not have bigger responsibilities kwathu. So it's just me ndokhala ndi masteni, ndokhala kwathu ndi munthu akondirera. You can just decide today kuti ndipite kuzomba zikakhala ndi anti anga or something like that. So one day akatangona za neza club zindazitaya mwene siti mapeza kondrama siti matani. But then an opportunity for you to get money, you need to number one, invest in what you're doing, and then it will get back to you. But you just can't wake up and finally club way and drama. No, there's something that you have to do as a club. You have to create innovative ways.
Yeah, activities, at least CV.
Activities, so that you can get something by the end of the day. And you are also creating a CV for yourself, a good profile. Yeah. You are networking with different people. Mm-hmm. So it's not all about you just being empowered, but you also empower others that are surrounding you.
Being the chairperson of the Youth Network in Mzuzu, do other stakeholders involve you in maybe policy making, like the Bapanga policies, street vending, cleaning up Mzuzu?
Yeah, so far we've been invited to several meetings. We talk about, I can give you an example of the SRHR policy. We are invited, we're there to check, to scrutinize, and to add, to remove some of the things. I have been invited to Mzuzu City Council. We have DIC meetings, several meetings that make up some initiatives or some tumalito kaya malamolo and everything that is going on in the city. So the network and the stakeholders have been in a very good relationship. We have been working together, even with other non-government organizations. They do involve us in most of the activities through the youth office, because the network is under the youth office. So in this situation, I should talk about the youth office. We have been involved in several initiatives and several meetings with the stakeholders. The relationship between the youth office and the stakeholders is just okay. The relationship between youth office and the youth network is superb. So yeah.
Okay, why is it important for the youth to be involved in the policy making?
It is very important because if it's the government, they will get the first-hand information, the first-hand info that young people want. Be it maybe in health, we talk about SRHR, maybe government wants to introduce something that young people don't want. That means we'll be there to voice out that, what, I think we don't like this, we need to do this. Because if you're on the Niaget, so there are some things in the policy, the many feel, to tell you that despite being young people, it could be good policy. Many if we they are really trying to help us. So we should discuss if we should give in our views, and the government should also understand us. Or if we do not understand what the government tried to say or to give to us, in line so that we can get to understand. So it is very, very important for young people to be involved in policy making. It also helps in terms of implementation. We'll be able to check, we'll be able to voice out. No, policy no, we are doing this because we have a policy that says we can be doing this. So it is very important for young people to get involved when making policies.
All right, Salome, but I know that there are a lot of issues we can talk about concerning the youth. Yeah. So thank you so much. Muna, if there is one word you'd like to say to youth out there?
I think it's just a word of encouragement. We are going through lots of challenges in our country right now. And a lot of young people panopo tangofika level jota amwene basi bora tukudzuka bora tikutane. But then I feel like we have a long way to go as young people. I feel like we still have the opportunities. Let us just find innovative ways that are going to help us as young people. We can venture into environment. When you talk about environment, in this lady, yeah. You can do recycling, you can do maybe planting trees and things like those, or you can go into environmental arts where you get zinthu zoti zinatayidwa iweyo ndikuzika mumalo ya popo kupanga ma decorations and the like. We can be selling those things, you know. So let us just have innovative ways on how we can help ourselves whilst you're waiting for the government to also get in, as it is doing, but then si kwambiri sangafikile wina lezi kutivuta as a nation. And also my parents had to, they cannot do everything. If fail, let us be the first ones kuzithandiza batokha by finding innovative ways, by kucheza ntantu amene timaona in our communities, young people that are doing well in our communities. Kwafusa amene achoti munayamba bwanji zizimapanga bwanji, something like that. I feel like the only way imene ingatipititse ife dziko pasogolo, it's when it comes to skills development. But ngati tingangodikira kuti yatilemba ntchito aboma ndetu kunama zinthu siziyenda po. Let us find innovative ideas on how we can develop ourselves.
Yeah. Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.